One Zambia, One Nation. My name is Juliet Mutale. Thanks for joining us on Zanis News. The headlines: stakeholders optimistic ahead of Parliament new session. Wheat farmers in Sigongo district seek government aid. Dilapidated Kaola Stadium in Mansa hinders sports development. The news in detail. Expectations are high among stakeholders as President Hakainde Hichilema officially opens the second session of the 13th National Assembly tomorrow, Friday, September 9th, 2022. Mutalekani caught up with some stakeholders and now reports.
President Hakainde Hichilema is tomorrow, Friday, September 9, 2022, expected to officially open the second session of the 13th National Assembly. Anticipation is high among stakeholders as they eagerly await the head of state's address. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, a modest number of officials and dignitaries will be expected to be in attendance, while the majority of stakeholders and diplomats will follow the proceedings remotely. The church expects the president to address issues pertaining to morals and national values.
The president, as he addresses Parliament, he will need to make sure that these values are communicated effectively to the leaders sitting in Parliament. That's the second thing I would say about national values, apart from the moral values. The moral values are important, they help us day by day, but the values guide us as a nation to where we are going, to the vision that is before us.
And the Southern African Center for the Constructive Resolution of Disputes, SACORD, wants the Public Order Act to be amended in the forthcoming sitting of the National Assembly.
We are expectant and hopeful that the Public Order Bill, that the Minister of Home Affairs and the Zambia Law Development Commission will be brought before the House. We expect to see sober debate, sober discussions, and ultimately we expect to see the piece of legislation being passed into law. We have been on the path of reform as regards the Public Order Act for a very long time. It is archaic, it is colonial, it is in dire need of reform. The job that has been done so far by the Zambia Law Development Commission and the Ministry of Home Affairs by way of being inclusive to different stakeholders is commendable. The product is a marked improvement if you measure it by international standards.
The first session of the 13th National Assembly adjourned its sitting on July 29, 2022. Mtalekani for Zanis News in Lusaka.
Still in Lusaka province, government has continued engaging various interest groups on the $1.3 billion United States International Monetary Fund (IMF) extended credit facility program to Zambia. The Ministry of Finance and National Planning today hosted stakeholders from business community who shared views on the matter. Michelle Malungisa has the details.
As the country starts the implementation of the International Monetary Fund IMF-approved debt restructuring program, the private sector is elated that the country has already started registering positive economic growth. The government has also continued interacting with different stakeholders to share ideas on how best to make the program workable and beneficial to the common Zambian. Speaking during the interaction program in Lusaka today, stakeholders are happy that the agreement has already started sending positive sentiments into the country's economy.
We have seen that the exchange rate has continued to appreciate. I think right now we're about 15.5%. I think that is a good thing. So for the common man, what we're saying as bankers is that now is the time for you to start your own businesses, your own to look at to say how do we take full advantage of what's happening in the region. Zambia is one of the Zambian kwacha is one of the currencies that is doing really, really well compared to any other currency in the region.
First of the many IMF deals to follow is here. The fiscal and technical evolution vis-a-vis the impact on various social and economic sectors will be realized, and we remain confident
that there is no such a thing as an IMF program. It's an IMF-supported program. It's a homegrown program. And if you are still in doubt, you realize that we've been trying to get this program on the table in the last 5, 6, 7 years. We failed to craft a program that is sufficiently bankable.
And the IMF has pledged to continue supporting Zambia in its quest to achieve full economic recovery.
On the fund side, we will continue to provide technical assistance and capacity building for the authority's reform program. The first review of the fund-supported program will be in 6 months' time, and we look forward to continue working closely with the government to ensure successful implementation of the
Government has stressed that it will use the IMF support program to resuscitate and repair the country's economy to acceptable standards that will promote inclusive, sustainable development.
We are doing everything possible to make the economy to grow bigger, and for the bigger economy, the structured debt which will be less, then you should be able to service both the new and the old debt. So that's the basic principle. This is why, hand in hand with this, you've heard us talking about the fact that we'll do everything possible to encourage investments in the country so that the economy does what? It grows. Because a bigger economy will be able to service the old debt that remains after restructuring, to be able to service the concessional loans that we are getting from the World Bank.
Following the increased debt that the country accrued in the recent past, the government engaged the IMF for a 3-year debt restructuring program, which was approved last week. Michelo Lubinda for Zanis in Lusaka.
We now move to the northwestern part of the country. The Department of Community Development in Solwezi District has embarked on the distribution of farming inputs for the 2022 and 2023 farming season to vulnerable but viable farmers under the Wetlands Food Security Park program. Chaibu Nkoma now reports.
Government is on course in ensuring that people's livelihood is improved through agricultural investment. In Solwezi District, the Department of Community Development is distributing farming inputs to vulnerable but viable farmers in Kimasala, Tuvanganaye and Kiawama wards under the Wetlands Food Security Park program.
Anota twali humona pe sunu yasika tulalima alimu tulali abantu chichiri herihe soba mwi tulasunga abana banshiwa kurusa home based care but tatwali ibona pe ano sunu shuwa twalumba maningi olobana bamujara inga twabasuntula tulabatora mbere twalumba lezarere.
We are thanking the government for giving us this assistance. The lame have all benefited, and it is beyond gender. It is beyond the political affiliation.
Solwezi District Community Development Officer counsels the beneficiaries.
My caution is to all beneficiaries that whoever is going to be found selling inputs is going to be jailed, because government has spent a lot of money on these farming inputs, and we are not going to tolerate an individual jeopardizing national food security at short-term profits.
Kimasala Ward Development Committee Chairperson Wilson Kakingu appreciates government for all positive efforts.
Not only this which we are seeing, there are quite a number of things that we have done as a community through the WDC and the able leadership of His Excellency Hakainde Hichilema. In Kimasala, we have distributed bursaries.
For Zanis News, I'm Chaibu Nkoma in Solwezi District, Northwestern Province.
Still in agriculture news, this time around in Western Province, farmers in Sigongo District who were earlier engaged in wheat production are appealing for government aid with mechanized irrigation equipment. The support is meant to enable farmers grow the crop on a commercial scale. Details in this report.
During the rain season, this is how the floodplains in Sigongo District would look like. And during the dry season, the fields lie dormant like this without any agricultural activity taking place, as seen in the rain season when rice is grown. To change the scenario and help address the high poverty levels prevailing in the district, Sikongo District Administration earlier this year identified wheat production as a viable venture to be undertaken during the dry season so as to fully exploit the potential that these plains hold. This resulted in establishment of wheat pilot fields, which have so far performed well, prompting farmers involved to ask government for extensive support.
Utata volufala masimu mo mezi alukataza makusela kwa lukataza holo ali apo kwa kusela kwa talushimba mabaketi nosela twa lutwa kutuku malifuva nimisebeza ngapa lusebeza kwa bisebeza na hande muso balutuse kuli balufumane kwa tene za kwa kusela samasimu yalo nonamo simu yelo batakuli kama balutisa kwa tene za kutusa kuli hape isaho
District administration has continued engaging various stakeholders to ensure that this project is fully established and more farmers are brought on board to extensively cultivate wheat in the district.
In a smaller scale, look at what we have done. We want to think outside the box now. As a district, we are saying we want to go into commercial farming with what we have already demonstrated to understand that wheat can now grow. What is much needed in here is just irrigation. So we are have experts that in that field. Of course, DACO officers should also get that interest of looking at what we should do together with them. And these technocrats should come and advise on these cooperatives. We need to give them more of, study them in areas where they should know how to manage such things.
The plan, according to district administration, is to have over 1,000 hectares of land be utilized for wheat cultivation using proper irrigation methods. And this will be possible if government commits itself towards this project. Zanis, Sikongo District, Western Province.
Thank you for that news item from Sikongo District. Now you're watching Zanis News on ZNBC TV1 at Mass Media Complex. 20 boreholes have been drilled in Choma District in Southern Province under Phase 2 of Scaling Up Nutrition SAN 2 project. The project, implemented with support from the United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, is aimed at increasing access to drinking clean and safe water. Here are the details.
Waterborne diseases such as diarrhea are among the causes of poor growth in children below the age of 2. To prevent such and ultimately reduce poor growth levels, government, with support from its cooperating partners, has drilled 20 boreholes in Choma under the Scaling Up Nutrition program. 30 boreholes, which were previously non-functional, have also been rehabilitated.
This is a project that has given us an opportunity to have a number of water points constructed and rehabilitated in a long time, because mostly like before we could drill, but it would be maybe just 2 boreholes per year, 3, 4. So the allocation that we are given, we are done with everything. And then there are also activities where we engage some local people that are going to be trained as repairs. We actually call them area pump menders. So these are the ones that will be helping out in terms of repair works that will be needed in each particular locality. Then the other activity that we'll be able to do under this same project is training of latrine builders. We promote community-led total sanitation at household level.
The Choma District Nutrition Coordinating Committee has monitored the sites and is impressed with the works.
So we are excited. The job itself is quite good. They have done a very good job. For us, we just have to lobby for more. To the beneficiaries, the only word is for them to strengthen the committees that are in charge of the boreholes, because every project has a lifespan. And when they leave, our funders, we want these boreholes to remain working.
For the beneficiaries, access to clean and safe drinking water has reduced waterborne diseases. Due to lack of water, we used to experience a lot of waterborne diseases, but not anymore. This borehole has helped us prevent diseases such as COVID-19. Even the school has benefited.
We are grateful for this borehole. We had no water here in Namuswa.
Ronia Sakala, Zanis, Choma.
In education news tonight, Government has purchased 180 desks for 3 schools in Mufulira Central constituency in order to alleviate the shortage of desks. And government has assured that more desks will be procured using the Constituency Development Fund CDF allocation for 2022. Here are the details by Rachel Chisulo.
Government has purchased 180 desks for 3 primary schools in Mufulira Central constituency at a cost of 302,000 kwacha, using the 2021 Constituency Development Fund, CDF. Mufulira Central Member of Parliament, Gordon Mwila, who handed over the desks to Mutundu, Gaston, and Kawama West Primary Schools, said they will help to alleviate the problem of insufficient furniture in the schools.
This is a lot of money, and hence my call to the management and the staff here to help us preserve the lifespan of these desks so that we don't come back soon after now to start addressing the similar challenge.
A representative of the District Education Board Secretary, Debs, said government's free education policy has increased the enrollment numbers in schools, hence the need for more desks.
We have seen children from the poor coming to join to have a feel of being in school. It is something that we really need to recommend the government of the day. The learners are still coming in schools, therefore we still need more desks.
Meanwhile, Mr. Mwila has called for speeding up of procurement procedures for government projects to ensure that development is quickly delivered to citizens. Rachel Chisulo, reporting for Zanis in Mufulira.
In a related development, about 200 students have enrolled at Chipata Trades Training Institute to take various skills development programs under the Constituency Development Fund CDF bursaries. Sylvester Chimba reports that the students have been drawn from Chipata Central, Luangeni, Kasenengwa, and Chipangali constituencies that have approved various amounts for skills development bursaries from the 2022 CDF allocations.
Government is working towards the promotion of skills training among the youths in the country in order to enhance entrepreneurship and productivity. The Constituency Development Fund bursary for skills training is benefiting youths from 4 constituencies, namely Chipata Central, Luangeni, Kasenengwa, and Chipangali, starting at Chipata Trades Training Institute. Chipata Trades Training Institute Vice Principal Christopher Zulu outlines how the bursary program is working.
So the coming in of the CDF for funding or the sponsorship through CDF has increased the access to training. As a training institution, we don't believe that you can create employment without first creating skills. It's the skills actually that will bring about employment. For us, we believe that the government has scored in this direction. And if they can continue to support these programs, I think it will be continuous scoring.
Mukunta Chansa is the carpentry lecturer at the Trades Training Institute, and these are words from a beneficiary of the CDF bursary currently studying at the learning institution.
It is a very much important skill because it helps us provide some comfortable sitters for all students as well as pupils in all variable schools in our country. And I'm also happy that by the end of the day, I'll gain a lot of skills on this trade so that when I go in society, I can also do things on my own to help the country to increase the income, which can help the entire country.
Sylvester Shimba for Zanis in Chipata District, Eastern Province.
Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua is disappointed with cheap building materials being used to finalize the works at Chief Mono's Palace in Mumbwa District. Mr. Nanjua has urged the building and infrastructure officers in the province to take keen interest in inspecting government projects in their respective areas. Here are the details.
Remove it myself. So you want a chief to come here?
Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua has inspected Chief Mono's Palace, which is under construction in Mumbwa District. The minister is not happy with substandard materials being used for the construction of the palace. Dr. Sektunyana is the Central Province Infrastructure Officer and now gives the status of the contract.
The completion of this is 965,000.
So far we've paid 732.
Excluding window frames?
Yeah, these, like I'm saying.
What was the total contract for the whole thing?
Should have been, I think the labor contract, materials are just being bought.
Meanwhile, Central Province Minister Credo Nanjua is disappointed with the workmanship at the palace.
We are not happy with the workmanship, the materials that are brought to this house. There's a lot of cheap materials being brought here, and we have got information which is not really adding up, because several hands have exchanged on this project. So we want to establish who did what, to compare with the amounts of money that have been paid.
JBD Green Tech Construction Supervisor Keshas Ngoma was found at the construction site.
Because I have nothing much to say, because the main contractor, the one who is in charge of this building. Because my main job is just to supervise some of the works, and my main job, I'm a tire. So the main problems he has said are the door frames and the window frames.
Krugas Yankuru, Zanis, Mumbwa.
National Council for Construction NCC Board Chairperson Vitalis Moya has expressed disappointment over the slow progress made with the rehabilitation and upgrade of the Kaole Stadium in Mansa District, Wapula Province. Chipili Makasa has the rest of the details.
Works for the rehabilitation and upgrading of Kaole Stadium in Mansa District have ex National Council for Construction Board Chairperson Vitalis Moya. Mr. Moya, who toured the construction site of the stadium in Mansa, has however disclosed that the matter surrounding the works of the stadium is a policy issue which will be reported to responsible staff.
Otherwise, if this was my project, personal project, I would have fired them all. The contractors, the consultant, out. I'm shocked to find that they were supposed to hand over in June, finish. And it's 2 more, they're saying December, they want to. I can't see it. Even next year, I don't see them finishing. But anyway, like I pointed out, is some of these issues are policy issues. We have challenges here. Let's go back and report to our superiors, our minister. Most of them are policy issues. You can see FIFA is involved. FAS is involved. So we report to our superiors.
And NCC Executive Director Enes Chindano has called on the contractor to expedite the works for the stadium.
The contractor needs to expedite for them to be able to complete the works on the new schedule. But I think they need more supervision, so we need the consultant, I think, to be on top of things, and also the client, to ensure that the client meets the obligation in terms of cash flow.
Meanwhile, FAS Executive Committee Wapula Province Chairperson Member Mujala says the lack of proper machinery has contributed to the delay in the completion of works.
Our geographical locations of Wapula, I think it is disadvantaging us a lot, because according to the contractors, they failed to find the needed machinery, unlike our friends in Solwezi where there are PAF mines. Here it has been difficult to find the right machinery to use.
In June 2022, when Wapula Province Minister Derek Chilundika visited the construction site for the stadium, Potent Mining Limited site supervisor Marvin Chonya disclosed that so far 70% of works had been done. Chipili Makasa, Zanis, Mansa District.
That sports item concludes Zanis News. Let's look at the stories that made headlines once again. Stakeholders optimistic ahead of Parliament new session. Wheat farmers in Sigongo district seek government aid. Plus, dilapidated Kaole Stadium in Mansa hinders sports development. Thanks for staying with us. I'm Juliet Mutale, and remember that we are one Zambia, one nation. Bye-bye.